Hi, it's Southern Belle Canto and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be talking about my October TBR or to be read list. So the first book that I just started recently, I hope to finish it obviously first in October, is The Pool Boy by Nikki Sloan. This was recommended highly by Jess from Peace Love Books XO on YouTube. I think she said it was her favorite book so far of 2021, so I just started it. I've really enjoyed it so far, so I'm excited to see how it goes. The next books, a lot of these are new that I purchased early in the month of September, so usually when I buy things, I like to either read them right away or do like half books that are on my shelf already or half books that I just purchased. So these are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these were purchased in September. So I definitely did a lot of spending on books in September, but I always read a lot, so I make up for it. The first book that I'm hoping to read after The Pool Boy is Bombshell by Sarah McLean. This is my first book from Sarah McLean. I saw that she had a new series coming out, and I know she's really popular, so I wanted to purchase from her and see what all of the hype was about. This is a new series called Hell's Bells, and this was published, I believe, early September. So this is a really new series, and it's the first one. And we have a wonderful sort of step back, but it's on our back cover. I don't usually like to read synopsises or synopsi about books, but this looked really good from the cover. I know Sarah McLean is a, as it says, New York Times bestselling author. So I figured a new series, I could jump in and see what all of the hype about her is about. And I really look forward to reading this. It looks like a really cool story. I'm excited about this one. Okay, this one is really cool. This is book 6, I believe, in Bridgerton. And this is called When He Was Wicked. And this is the love story of Francesca. Here's a little bit of a spoiler ahead, so if you want to skip, I'll hold up my next book so you know it's safe to come back. So spoiler in 3, 2, 1. So as we know from previous Bridgerton books, Francesca was widowed. And so I'm wondering, yet again, I don't read the backs of books, but I'm wondering either if this is going to be her love story and the husband that is now deceased, or if this is like a second chance romance, and so it's her as a widow finding love again. So both of those sound really good to me. I hope Francesca has a fun story. She's not really featured on the show, and she's really barely talked about in the books. I think in book 4, which was Penelope and Colin, and book 5, which was Eloise and Philip, they sort of just talk about it and say she's widowed and she's in Scotland. So hopefully we have a fun story with her. I'm looking forward to this. And this is yet again When He Was Wicked by the fabulous Julia Quinn. Can't say enough about the Bridgerton books. I've loved them all. So I look forward to this. Okay, my next historical romance, I picked this up at, I believe, Walmart. And this is called A Duke Worth Waiting For. Or, excuse me, A Duke Worth Fighting For. And this is by Christina Britton. Sorry, everything's backwards. I know, I'll try to fix that. But I bought this for the cover. Purple is one of my favorite colors. It's at Walmart, so it's accessible, at least at my Walmart. And I love the new Max Market paperback. So again, here's a Bridgerton book, which is the standard mass market. And this is the Max. And also, this is part of why I bought it, their Sarah McLean is also a Max paperback as well. So they're a little bit bigger. So anyway, I don't know too much about this one as well because I don't read the back. Oh, I see on the blurb, a sad widow and a reluctant duke. So looks like I'm going to be reading some widowhood books, which should be interesting. I'll be channeling my Carol from Real Housewives of New York. So these should be interesting to read about widows, especially in the Regency era. Because usually you think, oh, you're widowed, you're spinstered for life. So Might be some interesting plot twists and might do some research on that. All right, since October is a spooky month, I don't really like to read fantasy. I am picking up another horror. Well, my first horror romance. I bought that last night, and I'll probably do a Instagram post on that. But this book, I read mostly romance, as I usually state, but this book is, I guess, literary, and it is called Elizabeth is Missing, and it is by Emma Healy. Healey. Emma Healy. Elizabeth is Missing. I found out about this story from, well, I have a love of the actress Glenda Jackson. I think she's like 80. She's in her mid to late 80s, like 85 to 88. She's a double Best Actress Oscar winner. She won her first Oscar in 1970 for 1969's what's it called? The Women in Love, excuse me. Women in Love, which is based on the famous novel. I can't remember the author's name, but he also wrote Lady Chatterley's Lover. So there's usually some strong sexual content in his books, and there is some in the movie as well. It was in 1969, so it's not like, 50 Shades up in there. But, it's graphic. But it's a great story. And she also won her second Oscar in 1973 or 4 for A Touch of Class, which is that's really a cool movie. It's a sort of like a 1970s rom-com with a little bit of drama, so it's like a rom-com dramedy. And I think that was kind of cool that she won an Oscar for that role, because typically those type of roles don't get Oscar nominations, yet wins. And also Glenda Jackson did a fabulous miniseries in the 70s. I believe it's called Elizabeth R, for Elizabeth Regina, aka Queen Elizabeth I. Wonderful. Oh my gosh, Glenda Jackson is amazing. I absolutely love her. So anyway, she did a TV movie, but it's bougie. It's not like, Lifetime. She did a TV movie for, I guess, the BBC, and they had it come to America this past January on a Masterpiece Theater, Masterpiece, collection on PBS. And I watched it and loved it. They ended up having it on Amazon Prime for, you could purchase the movie for, I think it was like $3 or $4.99 HD. I bought it up. Hopefully it's still at a good discount, or you can find the movie somewhere for a good deal. But this is a lovely story. I usually read my books before the movie, but there was such a crunch line, and with it being a PBS broadcast show, I don't have cable, and I go to bed really early for my job. So I was able to save it on my grandma's DVR. I was up at my grandma's for Christmas break, and it came out January 1st, between the 1st or 3rd of January was when it was on PBS. So that's how I was able to watch it. But it's about a woman who has Alzheimer's, and her best friend Elizabeth is missing. She believes that her best friend Elizabeth has been kidnapped or harmed in some way, and she has dementia and cannot remember all the clues in her life. And it's sort of a framed narrative, because Elizabeth, when she was younger, her sister went missing and is assumed dead. So it's a lot of parallels between the past of when she was a young woman and her young sister, who was older than her, but her young sister is most likely murdered and missing somewhere, and now where her best friend is missing. So really cool story, really cool narrative. I'm looking forward to this book because it's spooky, but not really. It's more like a psychological thriller, or psychological drama, really. And I'm just excited to read the book. Hopefully it's just as good as the movie was. Usually I don't like to say that because I like to read before, but hopefully it's as good as the movie or even better. Typically they're usually better, so I'm looking forward to that. And the last two books, all that I just mentioned are the ones I am most likely going to finish in the month of October. These two are extra, so if I have extra time, I want to get to them, or at least one of them. And this one I saw, this is also one I saw in either a haul or a TBR from Jessica or Jess from Peace Love Books XO. And it's the Duke Undone. This looks really fun. All I know is that the heroine of the story is an artist, and there's like a nude model, and it turns out like the nude model is this Duke. So that should be a really fun story. And I'm guessing this is more of like a Victorian historical romance. It doesn't really say, but going off of the look, I'd assume it's not Regency. It's more like Victorian. So like 1860s to like 1910. And then another one I got, which is really similar to the Duke Undone, is this one. Oh, I'm sorry. The Duke Undone is by Joanna Lowell, or Lowell. The Duke Undone. I'm looking forward to this. I'm sorry. My last book I'm hoping to read in October, my goodness, hard to believe, is Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. I've heard wonderful things about this series, so I'm really looking forward to this. This takes place in 1879, and I believe it has something to do with like suffragettes or something as well. So like, it says the League of Extraordinary Women. So I guess it's a series. I'm not fully sure if it is, but I know there's I don't think there's sequels necessarily, but like sort of like how romances are, where they're friends that are related to the story, or somehow that's how it continues. They're not the same people, but this looks fabulous. And there's a second book in the series called A Rogue of One's Own, which I know is a little bit controversial for some reasons. Don't want to go into that because I was annoyed by the spoilers. And there's a third one, which is, I believe, a portrait or the portrait of a Scotsman. And that one looks really good as well. So I'm hoping to read this one and enjoy more from the series, because this just looks really cool. And I like that both of these two are historical fiction or historical romances, but in like a traditional paperback size. So it's more like traditional fiction size, because usually, you know, our romances are typically mass market. So interesting that I have in this month of TBR, I have 2 widow love stories at least. I might have more. And I have the 3 different sizes of historical romances. I have a traditional mass market, I have the max market, and these 2 larger fluffy paperbacks. I look forward to getting through these books and talking about them more with y'all later. Have a good day, and don't forget to like and subscribe the video for more content. Hopefully this weekend I hope to do a video on my September favorites, which will range from books to beauty and skincare to just general favorites, food, clothing, television shows I've watched. So look forward to that if you enjoy favorites videos. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.